Okay, we're recording. Hey everyone, my name is Whitney, and welcome to an episode of Spastic Chatter. Spastic Chatter is a platform meant to feature stories from those in the cerebral palsy community. I will be getting together weekly with individuals with CP to have a kind of an uncensored chat, if you will, about what it's really like living with this type of disability. For this episode, my guest's name is Brandon Ryan, and he is a personal trainer with cerebral palsy, and he has some other projects as well that go along with the health and fitness lifestyle. And so I'll let Brandon introduce himself.
Yes, my name is Brandon Ryan. I am a certified personal trainer through the International Sports Science Association, and I'm a certified nutrition coach. And I just so happen to have CP to go along with that. I'm a motivational speaker and published author and self defense instructor as well.
Awesome. Okay, so we're gonna get into the topics. Let me pull them up again. Can you I don't know which one to start first. The adaptive defense methods or the personal training?
Whatever you want to talk about.
Okay. Can you let's talk about the personal training first.
Oh, okay, sure.
Can you describe your, I know it said on your Facebook page something like nutrition, like how it affects your mind, and I don't know how you have like a byline on your, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
So are you wanting me to talk about like how I got started or
Yeah, the whole thing.
the whole thing? Okay, so how I got started in fitness was from my father. So like most of us that have CP, we're born premature. With my story, doctors told my parents that I would not be able to do much by myself, if at all. On the other hand, the doctor at the time told my family, well, my parents more specifically, that I would grow out of having CP. And to my knowledge, that's never happened.
That you would grow out of having CP.
Right, yeah, exactly.
That's weird.
It's really weird. But like God, gave me some really stubborn, hard-headed parents, in the best of ways. So, my parents didn't take that as gospel. So, as the months and years of my life progressed, I gained weight, and I, by God's grace, overcame the obstacles that they set out before me. So one day, my dad goes to the local vitamin shop and brings home a pair of green dumbbells, which I still have to this day. And it was those green dumbbells that were the precedents for my life because I learned how to do arm curls with really small dumbbells. And as my life progressed, my love for fitness just grew. I remember, you know, using a machine which I highly endorse called the Total Gym.
That's one of the ones that I first started off in therapy also.
Yeah, I love that machine. That machine gave me strength and endurance and mobility in my body that nothing else has ever given me. And so, I had always loved fitness, and I, in the back of my mind, I wanted to help and serve people like myself and others that are able-bodied, to be fitter and healthier too. Um, but I had always heard like horror stories about the personal training industry, largely in the fact that there's no money and it's hard to, get clients and all that stuff. this panned out to be epically true. But I was told not to get my certification, but I did it anyway. I've been certified for almost a year through the International Sports Science Association. So I have my personal training certification under them and a master's equivalent in nutrition under them as well. So I passed my certification tests and started an online webpage on Facebook called Adaptive Dive Fitness. And mainly right now, because of the quarantine, all my client work is online, but I do some stuff in person as well.
That's awesome. So, does the majority of your clients have disabilities, or are the ones that I've seen have disabilities? But I think that's just because we're in the same circles as far as
Right.
disability groups and stuff.
So 98% of my clientele have CP.
That's awesome, though. I think that's awesome because there's really not, as a person that's into fitness, there's really not that much like out there for this type of disability.
There's not a lot. No, you're correct. I mean, there are some really good personal trainers out there that are able-bodied that have working knowledge of how to work with people like us.
Yeah.
And there's trainers in the CrossFit world that are really good as well, but that's still a very small amount.
Yeah.
And so in my estimation, there needs to be more of an education towards working with people like ourselves.
Exactly. And I think that with you having CP, like there's a different way you can relate to your clients.
Yeah. Yes, very much.
Yeah, that's awesome. So do you want to go ahead and talk about the adaptive defense?
Yeah, if you had any other questions first on the fitness side of things.
Oh, we're probably gonna go back and forth because the questions I have kind of relate to both.
Okay, no, that's fine. So, apart from my dad teaching me how to lift weights, I was raised in martial arts since the age of 5, through multiple disciplines, and I've been teaching now for well over 10 years. I work with all of my students are able-bodied, and I have a few that are autistic and a few that are visually impaired. So I started the Adaptive Defense Methods webpage my junior year of college because I'd always had the desire to start a self-defense program for people, with adaptive needs. I didn't really like what was on the internet at the time because I didn't feel that it was the most realistic of how people in wheelchairs do get attacked. They're thrown from wheelchairs. People for some reason, start hitting them in their head and other really violent things that while they don't happen all the time, they still do happen. And I think it's better to have a response as adaptive people than none at all.
Yeah. No, I agree. Have you had just in relation to that, have you had what is the feedback you've gotten from the adaptive defense? Has it been positive or
mostly positive? However, once in a while I'll get some person, saying that my techniques would never work and all this.
I know for it will I felt like we're in the same disability groups, like I said, the post I did for Able Thrive, some of them were oh, I can't do this with my they just had a really negative. They weren't looking at the positive. They were
right
on the negative,
right. And to that point, that's that same attitude I run into all the time. whether I'm posting like a fitness video or a self-defense video, I'll always get people that are like, well, that's great, but I can't do that. And it's sad. It's sad because I do understand that there's different, different severities and different things we can and cannot do. But this one girl was like, I can't use my hands. So, like, you should think before posting stuff. And I'm like, okay, I can see your point, but what can you do just because you can't use your hands? Well, can you say anything? Yeah,
there's different ways you can adapt it. If you really wanted to, there's always a way to adapt stuff.
absolutely, 100% agree.
It's all about, to me, it's all about mindset. If you want to do something, you're gonna find a way to do it. Like,
Yeah,
I don't understand those people. So.
yeah, what a lot of what I do with my clients online isn't even so much physical in terms of fitness. It's all like between your ears.
And then when you get that confidence, like I don't know, fitness is giving me confidence. Like,
Yeah, I'm so proud of you. I see, like, when I saw you be able to lift that 10 pounds, like,
yeah,
above your head, I was like, get it, Whitney. I was like
yeah,
cheering from like my office when I saw that.
yeah. And then for people that aren't familiar, like I went from having to rely on a caregiver for the 18 years of my life to being independent, because I got a back pump, which gave me it allowed me to gain muscle and strength, but it didn't come overnight. So
Mm-hmm.
I have to work. I work out quite a lot. So
Yeah, you had to work your butt off to get to where you're at today.
and
So.
I continuously have to do it. Like, it doesn't just.
Yeah, and gosh,
If you don't do anything, like, you lose it. If you don't use it, you lose it.
yeah, gosh, your attitude is really incredible because that's what I preach to my clients all the time.
Yeah.
Like, you have to work your butt off and be disciplined. And, there's going to be days where you don't want to do it, where you don't want to eat that clean meal. You don't want to do those push-ups or band pulls or squats or whatever. You got to do it.
Yeah. So let's talk about we're gonna go like kind of all over the place, but that it
Yeah, that's fine.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Let's talk about nutrition.
Sure.
Now, I know that you've like made some changes to your. Haven't you made some changes to your diet, like the meat thing?
The meat thing. Okay, yeah, I'll talk about that. Okay, so for most of my life, I've been able to eat practically everything that I want and that I desire. When I was in college, though, I tried to go plant-based for a couple months. And wow, it wrecked me.
I don't know. Okay, this is like hilarious because I went vegetarian for a year, and I was sick. Like, the minute I don't know if it's because like we like for cerebral palsy we like use like a lot of energy, we burn calories, but
Yeah.
the minute my doctor told me that I have to eat meat because the amount of energy that I burn, and the
Right.
minute I ate meat, I was fine.
Right. Yeah. So I tried to go plant-based ish in college. And like I said, like that was not a wise thing to do. And I would have like a lot of joint pain and stomach bloating and skin itchy, irritated. Um,
I was
I
just
would,
fatigued all the time.
yeah, and I just thought that it was normal, that was just the arthritis in my body, and that it was normal to have your stomach, stick out because
Yeah,
of bloating. But I was like, no, I'm in epic amounts of pain. I don't feel good. I have no energy.
yeah,
So like I and I found that like the typical, you know, 5 to 7 meals a day, whatever it is in the fitness industry, you're told to eat 5 to 7 small meals a day. And I'm like, no, thank you. I don't want to do that. So like I found the carnivore way of eating, which is controversial, but I have been for the past 10 to 11 months, I've been eating nothing but steak and eggs 1 to 2 times a day. And I did that for a prolonged period. And I know it sounds crazy and controversial, but it changed my life. It absolutely did. And I have nothing against people that eat fruits and vegetables. I'll get to that. But in the beginning of doing carnivore, my body leaned out muscle wise probably way better than when I was a teenager. And my depression got way better, almost gone. I went from being able to crash on carbohydrates and sugar to having steady, prolonged energy. The arthritis in my body has virtually disappeared. Are there days where I'm still inflamed and hurt? Yeah, but for the most part, it's gone, you know, and I'm just better. I'm not in pain.
yes,
Um, the carnivore diet kind of hits it's like hitting a reset button on your body, and it resets your immune system so you can like fight off stuff. And so with that, I've been able to slowly reintroduce like some fruits and some greens, but they're very selective. So like the lower sugar fruits like berries and strawberries and the low carb greens sometimes. But and on top of that, I do like intermittent fasting, which is great for the body too.
that's cool. So just to be clear, we're not telling everybody to go do the carnivore diet.
No, we're not. I'm not telling everybody to go do the carnivore diet. But
You're just
you
talking
know,
about how it helps you.
right?
But I do think we need to talk about how nutrition really does, having the correct nutrition really does help people, and especially with cerebral palsy. If you if you have if you eat good, you feel good, and
Yeah,
that really is.
you said it. If you eat good, you feel good. It doesn't have to be complicated. Typically, I tell people protein, fruits, and your greens.
Yeah,
And you need to eat when you're hungry and stop when you're full and consume at least 3 to 4 tall cups of water a day.
yeah. You need to drink a lot of water. I struggle with that. That's one thing that I struggle with is the water.
Yeah,
But and correct me if I'm wrong, but with cerebral palsy, I feel like protein really. I feel like the more protein I eat, the better I like do all my daily livings.
yeah, for sure. Okay, so protein is a building block for your body. If your body does not have protein, you don't function. And so what I'm about to say is a little controversial, and I'm willing to accept the flack that.
Well, the Spastic Chatter is all
Right.
about controversy. So
Nice, nice. So I'm willing to say that I think our bodies need more protein than carbohydrates.
that's exactly what I was about to say. I was like, that's what I was thinking.
And I mean that specifically for our community.
Yes, like I was thinking the exact same thing.
Yeah, and I'll explain to you why I feel that way. Because, look, most of us are pretty sedentary. Like we're sitting down all the time. And so carbohydrates, okay, let's talk about the bad carbohydrates. Sugars, okay, bread, sugars, pastas, soda, if you call it soda, some people call it pop, whatever.
Oh, soda.
Yeah. But if you're sedentary, that's just going to turn to stored body fat pretty quick. And it's going to spike your blood sugar, and you're going to crash, and you're going to feel like crap. And over time, that's what leads to all kind of other ailments like diabetes.
Yep.
So that's why I just tell people to focus on your protein and get moving as best you can, because you can eat meat and not work out and still it can still turn to fat, but not as easily as carbohydrates.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Cool. So, let me look at the. Hold on, I'm gonna pull this up. Okay. So, can you? Was there a time in your life where you weren't so healthy?
Yeah.
Can you think like how does your body? Well, you kind of already talked about it. How does your body? Can you think about how your body felt then and how your body feels now?
I mean, there was one time in my life where I was just sick of my body, and like I would come home from school and just I have cravings for candy, and I would just eat candy. I mean, because I was like, I just didn't care, and like I started to develop some fat around my midsection that I didn't like, and I felt disgusting, and I was like, I never want to feel this way ever again.
Yeah, and that kind of brought up, and I kind of thought about something like a couple of years ago. I just after I got to college, I was like kind of I went through a depression or whatever, and I gained weight,
Mm-hmm.
and that made transferring so much harder.
Yeah, yeah, and people go through those valleys in life, and for me, it's hard because I see myself as a coach and a motivator. It's so hard to get people to see that there's more to their lives than what they have right now.
Yeah,
Like people are sitting at home right now listening to this or any podcast that you put out, and they have hopes and dreams that they want to accomplish. But again, in the mind, we get all depressed and we feel like we can't have those dreams. We can't accomplish anything. It's sad.
but in reality, we can. We just have to have like we were saying earlier, like the right mindset and.
Yeah, and that mindset does not come easy.
No, it took me years. Like,
Yeah, like a lot of people, they do good for a while, and then they want to quit. Or like the video I put out a couple of days ago, like when people have bad days, what do we do as humans? We stress eat, right? We go to the food that brings us instant gratification,
yeah,
and we think it brings us comfort, but it's making us worse.
yep,
You know, I try to instill this like fortified mindset in people where like you have to get to a point in your life where your mind is so strong that nothing will break you down.
yeah. We keep harping on this, but it's so true. So when you want to get on a fitness journey or any journey like that, your mind is the first thing that you have to get right before you
Right.
do anything.
hmm in high school I was told that I wasn't smart enough to go to college.
Yeah, exactly.
um
Now you're a published author and.
Yeah, and I mean now I have a couple degrees under my belt, and I've graduated high school. I mean college in high school, college with honors. But you know, but even with that, you know, something had to switch in my mind to make me believe that I could do that.
Yep.
So.
Let me see. Okay, so we kind of talked about all the things that I've. So one last thing is, what advice do you have for others that want to start their fitness journey or are on their fitness journey? It can be a disability or not.
Yeah, so if people want to get better, I would say I'm here to help. So they can contact me through the Adapt or Die Facebook page.
Yeah, I'll link all that in the description.
Yeah, they can email me there, but because I love to help people. Mainly though, like we kept talking about throughout this interview, you know, you have to decide what you want, and then you have to go and get it.
Exactly.
You have to lay aside all your past failures in life and just go get it.
And I'm gonna point out, I would start out with, like, everyone has goals, but
Right.
we tend to focus on like the big goals, like the long-term goals, and to get to those long-term goals, you have to have small goals. Like,
yeah, there you go. You got to start small, but you got to work for it, you know.
so for instance, when I start like 2 or 3 years ago, when I started standing, I could only stand for 30 seconds, and then by the end of that year, I was standing 15 minutes in my walker.
That's amazing.
But I did it every day.
Yeah.
And I had that mindset, like, I had that positive mindset, like.
Yeah, and you are a living example of what hard work and discipline does for a person. And more people need to open up to that, because like you and I are preaching the same gospel here.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and again, nothing happens overnight, but you have to have that mindset of, I'm going to achieve this. And even in a lifetime, if I don't, I'm going to work at it even still.
And it's important to remember you're going to have those bad days, like.
Exactly.
But don't stay in those bad days.
Yes, preach it, girl.
Yeah. Exactly. So just to wrap up.
Yeah.
Where can people follow you? And then I'll put it in the description.
Yeah. So my fitness page is at Adapt or Die Fitness on Facebook, and then my self-defense page is Adaptive Defense Methods.
Okay, cool. And thanks for being on the podcast.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
I enjoyed it. And for anyone that wants to be on an episode of Spastic Chatter, I will leave the email below, or you can just comment below. And thanks for coming on again.
Thank you so much.
And check back for next week's episode. Okay, bye.
Bye.